Linus, two-thirds of your first season in Formula 4 now completed. How would you sum things up at this stage of the season?
It's been a decent season so far, I would say. We had ups and downs in terms of race. And, we had 3 wins and a lot of podiums throughout the year, and fortunately a few down races as well. In the first weekend at Brands and last round at Knockhill wasn't our best, but I think in general speaking, we had really good pace throughout the season so far. So let's just hope the 3 last round will bring even more.
Is there any single moment that you would maybe single out as being the highlight of your campaign to date?
In terms of British F4, I would say it's the weekend at Croft where we had our double win in race 1 and race 3. It was definitely one of the best weekends that I've had in a very long time, with a dominant win, I would say, both in race 1 and race 2, and topping both practice and qualifying and all that. So it was a very good weekend. But in terms of the whole season, I would actually say the F3 debut at Spa. That was incredible. That was something else.
And can you tell us a little bit about that? Because obviously Formula 3 being a much quicker car than the Formula 4 car, that sort of means you had to step back a bit when you went back to Formula 4 now for the last recent races. How difficult was that transition?
Not that difficult, since you've had like half a season in the F4 car and only 1 race in the F3 car. It was quite good getting back to it, and I would actually say that, in every car that you drive, you learn something new and all that, and I think that I can take some of it back to the F4 car, and especially when you drive a bit faster car and then go back to a bit slower car, really, you get more sense of feeling that you're in control, since everything just happens a bit slower.
So the Formula 3 experience, is that something that you think has strengthened you as a driver this year overall?
Yeah, definitely. And in any experience in any car and any championship is a good experience, I would say. Even though you might not add that driving technique into your car, you still learned about yourself and your limitations and all that. So I think I improved as a driver.
And that obviously came courtesy of Double R Racing, which is also your Formula 4 team. How has the cooperation with them been this year?
It's been amazing, I would say. So far, it's one of the best teams out there, I would say. And a big thank you for all the support this season. I think we can make this season go back even in the last 3 rounds, and hopefully we'll end up on a high.
So returning to Formula 4 then for a little while there, we were talking about the high point of the season. Any race, any moment in particular where maybe things didn't pan out according to plan? Any low point?
It's gonna be definitely Brands Hatch, the first race weekend of the season, where we've done so much testing and so much preparation gone into this championship, and then not even be able to finish a single race. That was one of the most difficult weekends that I've ever had in my life, I would say. It was truly devastating. But yeah, I think we bounced back pretty well.
Yeah, obviously did. I mean, you won your first race the following weekend at Donington, but just how difficult was that? Because you came from Sweden, a smaller championship, which you won last year, and made this big step into international racing here in the UK. And then you have this devastating start to the year. That really must have been difficult to bounce back from.
Oh yeah, definitely. And since in the beginning of the season, you always want to start off on a high and grow on that throughout the season. But now when we started on such a low point, it was very difficult to bring myself up to it again, and really to think about, all right, we've still got a shot at this. There's still 9 race weekends to go. But, as long as you got your few days alone and got into yourself and just like, all right, just try to bring this back now and turn it into something positive, maybe in some form of underdog and revenge feeling. So it was alright, but it was difficult there for a while.
So how much tougher is the competition now that you've done 2/3 of a season here in the UK compared to what you've done before in karting and back in Scandinavia?
It's definitely a lot more difficult. The competition is very high. I would say the British F4 Championship is very competitive, and it's sort of as a world renowned championship, because we got drivers from all over the world. And in every single aspect, I would say, especially from last year, it got stepped up a bit, both driving, technique-wise, and engineering, and the whole team, and the whole championship-wise. It was something else.
So what are you hoping to take from the last remaining rounds now this year? Is it just trying to win every race, or do you have a set target in terms of championship position?
Well, you always go into a weekend trying to win it. At least I always do. Got nothing. We're not aiming to be second or third. You're always aiming to win it. And now, since the championship got a bit worse from our position from the last round and not kill, we'll just try to win as much races as possible and score as much point as possible, really, to be able to be in a good position for the championship.
Now, finally, I know that you, growing up, you did a lot of other sports as well. Do you have any sort of hidden talents or anything in terms of, or outside racing rather, that you'd like to share?
A difficult one there. I did a few sports, but I guess that one thing maybe a lot of people know, maybe or not, I can juggle quite well, actually. That's one thing.
Okay, so I hope you can juggle your way to a couple of more victories at the end of the season.
Oh, yes. Me too.